Hello and welcome to part C of the 5th episode of Ukulele Jam Kit. In the past couple of weeks we worked on a chord progression featuring the sus4 chord as well as our D Mixolydian scale. So if you haven't seen those videos, check them out in the links down below. Today though, we're going to be working on a strum pattern that features a new technique that has many different names. You might have heard this technique called a fan or a raschiato. I like to call it a sweep. And what this technique is this sound here. All that a sweep really is instead of just using your index finger to do a down strum, we're going to use our pinky, ring, middle, and index fingers to do the down strum. So let's do a little quick tutorial on how to do this technique. And what I like to do to start here is curl all your fingers into sort of making a fist, but then take your thumb and try to put your thumb on the fingernails of all 4 of these fingers. It takes a little bit of contorting to get them all in there, but get all 4 of those fingernails under the thumb. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put pressure on the nails of each of those 4 fingers so that the thumb is holding the fingers back. And then what you're going to practice is you're going to practice releasing your fingers one by one, starting with the pinky, then the ring finger, then the middle finger, then the index. It's really important that the distance between each of these fingers is even, meaning the distance between releasing your pinky to your ring to your middle to your index should be the same. You shouldn't be doing one finger and then the rest, or doing a couple and then another and then another. You want them all to be even. So the thing to start practicing with this is just to start getting this motion to develop the muscle memory. And you can practice it with your ukulele, but you can also practice it with inanimate objects. I like to practice it on the side of my uke, or on my pant leg, or on the steering wheel when I'm driving. That's one of my favorite ones. Pay attention on the road though. But you're just trying to essentially get that very quick rapid fire tick, 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 tick of these fingers. Now, when you're using the thumb like this, a lot of force is sort of being applied from the fingers. So when you try playing it, you'll notice it's really bright. And so what you want to do is, as you develop this muscle memory, you take your thumb away, but it's the same motion. And as you get comfortable doing this, you'll notice that your hand will be comfortable doing this without the thumb in place. And that gives us our sweep sound that we're looking for. So this just replaces a down strum. That's it. And what you want to do is you want to start the sweep a little bit before the down strum would happen so that your index finger is doing the down where you would want the down to take place. So now let's look at the pattern that we're going to be introducing this with. It looks something like this. Now this might look a little bit scary, but you'll notice it's really quite straightforward. It's actually a lot like our standard down, down, up, down, up pattern. Only in this case, the second down strum has all these little flags on it. And all those flags symbolize is the sweep technique. You'll notice there are 4 flags. We use 4 fingers to sweep. That's the reason for it. So if we look at it without any chords, we can see that essentially what's happening here is we're going to do a down strum, followed by miss coming up, represented by our dotted arrow, meaning to move our hand without striking the strings. Then we're going to do the sweep, and then an up strum. Then we miss coming back down, do another up, and then a down, and then an up. So without any chords, in a really slow time, this sounds something like this. 3 and 4 and down, miss, sweep, up, miss, up, down, up again, down, miss, sweep, up, miss, up, down, miss, sweep, up, miss, up, down, up. Really cool sound, all right? Now, one cool thing about the sweep technique is you'll never master it. Well, maybe you will, but I've never mastered it. It's one that just gets better with age. I've been doing this technique for over 15 years now, and sometimes I do it and I think, whew, that was the best I've ever done it. And that's a kind of exciting thing with the technique, knowing that it just keeps getting better as you practice it. But let's go ahead and look at the chords now that we worked on part A. And those chords are D, D sus4, G, and G sus4. So if you don't know these chords, make sure that you check out that video down below for part A where we worked on these chords. But let's go ahead and try the pattern with these chords, and it looks something like this. Now this is a bit of a doozy because we've got the pattern repeated twice with each one of the chords represented. And you'll notice the chord change is going to take place on the up strum to the sus4. This creates a really cool sound, but it does make it a little bit more complicated. Let's go ahead and try it really, really, really slow. I'm going to count in. Feel free to play along if you're ready, and just listen if you don't feel like you are. But we're going to start with the D, and we're going to play through this whole pattern. 2 and 3 and 4 and down, miss, sweep, up, switch, up, down, miss, sweep, up, miss, up, down, up, doing again, miss, sweep, up, miss, up, down, miss, sweep, up, miss, up, down, up. One more time. Pretty cool, right? It really helps when you're working on this to keep your hand moving to make sure that you get the timing just right. But just so that you can hear it, here's what it sounds like at full speed. Something like this. And I love this sound. That sus4 chord, along with this technique and switching on the upstrum, just makes a really cool, what we call syncopated pattern. And the syncopation is just an accent on the offbeat, in this case, that upstrum. So that's what it sounds like all put together. Really fun, takes some practice. Remember, get really comfortable with just holding your thumb there and expelling the fingers one at a time, making sure the intervals are good. And eventually you'll be doing this technique in no time. And there you have it, our sweep technique with a strum pattern featuring our suspended chords. And so if you'd like to see how all of these different parts are going to be combined into our jam track, be sure to subscribe and you'll check out the final part of episode 5 next week, where we put it all together and make our toolkit. I'll look forward to seeing you then. As always, if you want to download a PDF of the materials shown here on screen, as well as the other parts of the ukulele jam kits, check out the description below to find my Patreon page. It's really thanks to my patrons I'm able to make these videos and all of this different content here on the channel. It's a great way to support me if you'd like to, and thank you to all of my patrons for all of the support. But I'll look forward to seeing you guys next week for the finale of episode 5. Thanks so much. See ya.